in 2024. And I can tell you for a fact that the results I've produced in less than 2 years with Sabii Girl cannot be compared to all the 5 years I had before I met Sabii Girl. And I'm saying this with all authority. I'm saying this with all sincerity and genuineness of heart. She changed my trading. I must be frank with you. My own personal students can see it. You know, the the blessing, Bible says that, Bible tells us that, a true blessing goes way beyond just you. It goes down to generations. So you see, the knowledge that Sabigail has poured into us, has injected into us, has infused into us, has not only affected my life personally, but it has also transcended down to my personal students. My students bear me witness. See, I don't have to talk so much. The best answer for doubters or naysayers or unbelievers are results. Consistent results. And so I want to use this opportunity to thank Sabigail for the great work she's doing, the great work she's done in my life personally. I can speak for myself. In my life, you've really changed my trading, and I'm forever grateful and indebted to you. I'm so grateful. I'm telling you. I found Sabigail at a very strategic point in my life where I was about getting married. And, you know, learning to trade like Sabigail, let me say the truth of the matter, literally funded my wedding. It funded my wedding. I did not even have to be in TLS for more than 2 months or 3 months. I began putting into practice what I had learned, even from the very onset, you know, and it really changed my life, even up to now. And so I'm very grateful to you, Sabigail. Now, I want to say that every one of you who finds themselves here, don't take it lightly. All right? I want you to do me a favor and type in general page. And this is what you're going to type. You're going to type that. You're going to write your name. So you can write, I, Mikhail, promise to never take for granted my position and my place in TLS or in the evolution. I want you to write this. Write it down that I, so and so, I see a name Josh King. So I, Josh King, vow to never take for granted my place and my position in the evolution. I want you to write this in the general page. You know, the the saddest thing that could ever happen to any man is to miss your identity, is to not know who you are, is to not know where you are, how opportune you are. Listen, I train a lot of students, all right? I have a lot of students, personal students, mentees who come from other mentorship. And I'm telling you for a fact that if you are in TLS, you are one of the best. You are in one of the best stocks. You are in one of the best places, best mentorships in the entire forex space. And I'm not just talking about forex Niger. Mind you, I'm not a Nigerian. I am Ghanaian, many miles away from Nigeria, and yet I'm a huge testimony of what TLS has to offer of what TLS has to offer. And you guys should count yourself blessed, you and myself, and the few of us who have gotten to be part of, the pioneers of TLS, of Sabigail's mentorship. We are greatly honored, we are greatly privileged to be one of the few, many hundred thousands and millions of students who come out of here. All right. And so you need to know your identity. You are a TLS product. Stop allowing yourself to listen and to hear forgive me to say, the nonsenses that are coming from outside. Focus on what you have. If your mind is not here, if you are not focused, you will only accept the garbage coming from outside. You only accept the garbage that is coming from outside. And you know what Bible says about the devil? Bible says that the devil came to steal, to kill, and to destroy. One of the saddest thing you can ever do to yourself as a newbie or as a trader or as a mentee of Sabii Girl is to pay heed and attention to naysayers. I'm telling you, naysayers, their only duty and their only work and their only desire is to steal, is to kill you, and is to destroy. I'm saying this again, is to steal the energy you have, the knowledge you have, the zeal you have, to kill that drive, to learn, and to destroy you. Listen, I always say I'm very close friends with one other trader in TLS 1.0. And I'm telling you for a fact, I used to tell him very much that it got to a point, when I began the TLS, I hardly watched Netflix. Sabi Girl's mentorship, her videos was literally my Netflix. And I'm saying this without any iota of fear, without any iota of a lie. I'm telling you the gospel truth. And no wonder my entire identity is TLS. Like, who is Mikhail? I am TLS. That's who I am. I'm a product. 100%. I'm born bred. I'm smeared. I'm impacted by TLS. And I'm telling you that if you decide to focus, and put TLS first as your priority in this entire forex space, and not having your eyes sniffing, trying to look people and peek into other mentorships and other places, and having your nose to sniff for whatever it is. If you focus, success will not be far away from you. Success will not be far away from you. Success will not be far away from you. Listen, we are not only opportunity. The best thing about being in TLS is that we get to be part of the 1% of privileged traders. I'm saying privilege because it's a privilege to have access to this information. The only thing standing between a profitable trader and an unprofitable trader is knowledge. And we have it all here in TLS. So it's high time every one of us, every single person, begins to understand how blessed you are. And focus, set your gaze, set your mind on this. Bible says that I press towards the mark of a higher calling. Sabii Girl's mentorship is, when it comes to the forex space, it's a higher calling. I can say it with all boldness. With all boldness. I know what I've seen in 7 years of training, I'm telling you. And I'm telling you that TLS, the knowledge that TLS has for you, cannot be compared anywhere. And I'm telling you for a gospel fact. And so please begin to rewire your mind. What am I doing now? I'm performing mind surgery on you. A lot of people here have twisted minds. It's like we are not so sure of why we're here. That's why I'm here. To pump that reminder into you. To tell you that $100 or how much you paid is the best amount you ever pay in your life. This is the best investment. Ever since I started TLS, I've never thought of treasury bills and all these other things. It's doing it for me. I just, when I talk about TLS, I get so passionate about it. My wife knows how passionate I am about Sabii Girl. I'm telling you, my wife knows how passionate I am about Sabii Girl. And it is because I don't take her for granted. I see her as the blessing God has brought to me at an opportune time. And the earlier you begin to see it you begin to see her for that, the better it will be for your Forex journey. Back in school, the lecturers or the teachers that you did not like, you did not perform well in their class. True or not true? Some tell me in the general on the general page. Tell me if I'm lying. Every one of us has been through school. The lecturers and the subjects you did not like, you did not perform well. Tell me if it's a lie. What I'm saying. Tell me if it's a lie. And the subjects that you were so interested in, the lecturers that you liked so much, you performed extremely well in them. I'm saying that TLS is not any different. If you decide to focus your mind and your attention on the noise that is happening outside, right? TLS will not be the breakthrough for you. I'm telling you. No matter how much you try, no matter how much you try, no matter how much you try. I consume TLS morning. I consume TLS in the afternoon. I consume TLS in the evening. See, I'm telling you, I wish my wife was close to me. She's hosting a visitor. I have a student of mine coming from many miles in a different region. We call it regions in Ghana. We don't call it states. He's come to visit me, and he's been with me for the weekend. And I'm only pouring out what Sabigo has already poured out to me. I wish my wife was here. She will tell you that I don't sleep before 3 a.m. every single day and wake up at 5:30 a.m. to help her to prepare for work, help her heat her water, do everything for her. When she goes to work, I'm back on my see. You guys have to be hungry enough. It only takes the hungry man to become successful. But if there's no hunger in you, if there's no drive in you, huh? You only take things for granted. You'll be in a cave full of gold, but you'll not have the resources to harvest the gold. TLS is a gold mine. And if you decide to listen to naysayers outside, you decide to not focus on this, you decide to have 1,000 or 1,000,001 excuses, you'll be in the midst of gold and still be broke and still be poor. Now, having said that, I'll just go through a few things. I believe every one of us is here to also see one or two things. As I said before, my name is Sir Mikel. I'm Mikel. All my students call me Sir Mikel. I'm a reverend minister by calling, so I'm a pastor, and also I'm a husband of one wife. I trade Forex full time. I've been doing Forex full time for 7 years now, and I'm telling you, the Forex journey is not complicate it. Don't go over trying to look for things that have not been taught. A lot of you will learn from TLS and go outside, confuse yourselves, and come back, and it's like everything is messed up, right? I need you to focus on what you have. Now, let's just go briefly through. I trade predominantly the key levels and then the QMLs. All right, key levels and QMLs together with confirmation entries or confirmation candles. All right. So now, first things first. A typical key level entry, let's say an RBS in a bullish order flow. Okay. You all know how level is. I'm going through this because I believe that there'll still be a couple of people who will be a bit confused on the page, and so um, or who are a bit confused still on this call. And so let me just run through this and we just look at some few examples and some few trades that I've taken in the past couple of weeks or couple of days. So now, the best key levels to trade, okay, are key levels at weak points. That's the first point I want to make. All right. Now, you already know a weak point. So if we have a typical, let's say, order flow like this. All right. Your weak points will be the higher highs, let's say a bullish order flow. Key levels around this area. Key levels around this area. These are your weak points. Key levels around this area. So a typical example is here, right? You can see that we are at a weak point, more or less. All right. All right. So we had our higher high here. Okay. We had our higher high here. This is a valid internal. So on V75S, that's if you trade with deriv. Okay, these are IDM, these are disruption, and I believe every one of you knows or understands why these are valid internals, and this because of the presence of structural liquidity. Now you need at least one valid SLQ. All right, whether it's dual, whether it's series, you just need at least one in them. Are we together? Now, either you are trading your key levels at the weak points or you are trading them at the extreme points. Okay, so you can see there's a BOS over here and all that, and this will have you um, increase your profitability. Secondly, the best key levels to trade are fresh key levels. Trust me, in trying to find my way through, I've traded both key levels and fresh key levels and non-fresh key levels, and I can tell you for a fact that if you focus on fresh key levels, right, you increase your profitability. Secondly, thirdly, the next set of key levels I should trade or have you have high probability setups are series key levels. So as you can see, this is more or less, let's say, a dual. Okay, sometimes they hold, yes. All right, sometimes they hold. They are still good, well, because it's fresh, yeah. Now, let me give you what validates a key level. All right. Now, so now we have our typical RBS here. Okay. Now, first of all, you want your next candle. Let's say it's a dual or whether it's a series. You want your next candle, first of all, to break with the body of the candle. You want to have a body break above the equal highs. Are we together? You want it to break above the equal highs. Now, I don't know. Can you guys see my screen? Let me see 222 in the chat. If you can see my screen. I need to confirm. 222 in the chat if you can see my screen. All right, beautiful. All right, so first of all, you want the body to break the equal highs. Okay? You want the body to break the equal highs. And then, secondly, you want the wick, the highest point of the wick, on the two candles that make up the key level, right? You want it to be broken. It could either break with the wick or it could break with the body. All right? All right. So, first of all, you want your equal levels to be broken with the body and then also the highest wick. Okay. Yes, somebody is saying it should be recorded. Yes, please, it's being recorded, so you have nothing to worry about. Yeah. So if the highest wick is broken with either the wick or the body, you are good. Okay. At least you've done about, let's say, about 75% of the work. All right. Now, what is the next thing for you to do? The next thing for you to do is to mark your POI. Now, what is your POI? Your point of interest. What will be your point of interest in this typical key level or this typical RBS? Now, it's your equal highs all the way to the lowest wick of the two candles that make up the key level. Are we together? So now you mark it. Now, after marking it, all right, the next thing you want to see or you want to wait for, you could wait for a couple candles. It depends on what time price is going to fall back or to mitigate the key level. All right. And then now you want price to mitigate it. Now, this is where you take your entry from. All right. So typically, you have your entry at the exact top of the key level. your stop loss anywhere below the POI, and then you are doing a typical 1 to 3. Okay, a typical 1 to 3. Right. So this would be like 1 to 3. But are you aware that there's a way you can increase this 1 to 3 or 3 RR that everyone is trading? You could increase it to about 10 RR or 11 or 9 or 8 or more than 3. Now, this is where candlestick confirmation comes in. Now, what do you want to look out for? And I'm just showing you what I personally do. So, first of all, I mark my POI in my key level. Then I use my long tool or my short tool, depending. If I'm buying, I'm using my long tool. If I'm selling, I'm using my short tool. Right? Then what happens next is that I wait for price to tap into my POI, right? And then I look forward to candlestick confirmation. I look forward to candlestick confirmation. Now, what are the two candlestick confirmations I look out for? Number one, I look for haramis. Harami can also be called the inside bar. So if you ever see inside bar, it's the same thing. All right. And then secondly, I look for engulfing bars. Now we are going to look at these two so that you can identify them. All right. Now let's look at the harami. Now it's either a bullish harami or a bearish harami. Now in the case of a buy, you want to be spotting out bullish haramis. Now what does a classic bullish harami look like? First of all, you would have a bearish candle. Let's change the color. Let me make it bearish so that you understand. All right. So we would have a bearish candle. All right. And then, also with this wick, certainly. In the POI, you want to find it in the POI. It shouldn't be outside. You shouldn't see a wick outside. Everything, the whole candle should form within the POI or inside the POI. And then, secondly, we would have or would look out for a bullish candle. Okay. So now, if you look at this candlestick confirmation pattern or candlestick confirmation, what do you see? Do you realize that the bullish candle is smaller than the bearish candle? Now, how do you identify? You could see some candles like this, but sometimes they may not be inside candles or haramis. Now, what do you use to validate the harami or the inside bar? Now, the high of the bearish candle, the wick high and the wick low must totally engulf the bullish candle. You don't want to have something like this. This is not a harami. You want the entire candle of the bullish candle or the bullish candle with its wick. You want everything to what? Form within the POI. You want the entire bullish candle to be engulfed totally by the bearish candle. This is what we call a bullish harami. Are we together? Now, in the case of a bearish harami, in this, it will occur within, let's say, an SBR. That's the opposite or the inverse of this. So it's in a sell scenario. Now, you would see, let's say, price is trending upwards, right? And you are looking to sell from an SBR. Okay. Now, you want to see a bullish candle or a mother bullish candle, right? And then you want to see a baby bearish candle. See, this is not far-fetched. And these are systems that work. Our mentor taught us this, and we've been using it consistently to make consistent profit. This is for you who is also, you don't really have a lot of capital. You have small capital. You have small capital. You have $5, you have $10, and you're looking forward to scaling it up. Or you even have $100 and you don't want to risk all the $100. I'm going to take you, after showing you this, I'm going to take you through a simple risk management plan that I use. And also, if you decide to stay on till the end, I'm going to show you a trick or a way to pass your profims without failing, right? How many of you are excited about that? If you're excited about that, let me see fire emojis in the chat box. If you are ready to see how you can pass profims, after today's meeting, every single one of you should be able to pass a profim. Nobody should be afraid, right? When you combine it with the lessons, structure, order flow, know your directional bias. Once you have that, plus this risk management plan, I'm telling you, you are the prophets who will be afraid of you. They'll be afraid of you. So now, with this, you want to see them occur within the POI. So in the case of a buy, you want to see what a bullish harami, and this is how it looks like. You can take a screenshot of it if you want. And in the case of a sell, you want to see a bearish harami in the POI. Now let's look very quickly at the inside bar. Now the inside bar is a bit different. Sorry, the engulfing bar. So now a bullish engulfing bar, which you want to see in a POI like this, would have a baby bearish candle, and these are candlestick confirmations you want to be looking forward to. And then it will have what? A mother bullish candle. Trust me, try this consistently and tell me that this doesn't work. Right? Now, in the case of the bullish engulfing bar, you want to have the high and the low of the bullish candle totally engulf the bearish candle. Are we together? Are we together? Now, let me just say this. Right after your harami is formed, let's say your bullish harami is formed, where's your entry? Your entry is at the beginning of the next candle. Your stop loss, I'll show you how you can calculate your stop loss as well. So you are doing your 1, 2, 3 or whatever it is. Okay. Now, just before I get to engulfing bars, okay, your entry, right after this candle closes, the bullish candle closes, your entry is on the next candle open. Now, where will your stop loss be? Now, you can decide to maintain the stop loss, but if you want to increase your, let's say the confirmation happens somewhere here. Let's say the confirmation happens somewhere here. You realize that you are already, somebody would have been doing 1 to 3, and you are already doing what? 5 to 26. 5.26 RR. So now what you can do is that once your entry is here, you can use the POI. So you mark a POI like this from the beginning of the top of the bearish candle to its low, something like this. And then all you want to do is to clone. You can just clone like this. Once you clone it, bring it below and make sure the middle points are exact. Okay. Now what you want to do is that you can move your SL below this point and then just remove it like this. So now when you do this, you realize that you may probably, let's say it will come somewhere here. Instead of here as your stop loss, it could come somewhere here. And now what you've done is that you've converted 3 to 9.62 RR. Okay. But for some people, you can decide to still maintain your SL here. This is just by the way. Okay. With the bearish harami as well, it's the same thing. POI, you just mark a small POI within the major POI. You can use a different color, right? And in this case, once this candle closes, your next candle is your opened. Let's say your 3. Let's say your 3 right there. Where will your stop loss be? You can decide to maintain the stop loss of the POI, or what you can decide to do is to just clone, right? This way. Okay. And then your stop loss will be above that second one, and you just delete it and it'll be like this. It'll be something small so that you'll be able to scale up and increase it. Okay. This is just by the way. Now, with a bullish engulfing bar, you want your engulfing candle to totally engulf the bearish candle. All right. Now, in the case of a sell, let's say you are selling, what time frame? Someone is asking what time frame for confirmations. 5 minutes. You want to look at this on 5 minutes. So you are marking your key levels on 1 hour. See, whatever my mentor does, I do exactly the same thing. I don't do any other thing. I'm not trying to be the superhero. My mentor trades key levels, QMLs, and all on 1 hour. I decide to stick on it. I don't even waste time to go on 30 minutes. Even though you can mark your internals on 30 minutes and all that. But I decide to use 1 hour. Okay, so you can I mean this is your 1 hour, and then you scale down to 5 minutes to look for your candlestick confirmation in your POI. All right. So now we have our engulfing bars. This is the bullish engulfing bar. Now let's look at the bearish engulfing bar, how it looks like. So now the bearish engulfing bar, um, you will see a bullish candle. Are we together? A bullish baby candle in the sell POI or the SBR, let's say, and then you'll see a bearish candle this way. Now you want your bearish candle to totally engulf the bullish candle. All right. Once this is done, now in the case of the engulfing bar, what you can do is that you take your entry on the next candle open. On the what? The next candle open. On the next candle open. All right. On the next candle open, you can take your buy, and then your POI is still the same thing as I showed you. You mark the 5 minutes POI like this, right? And then you only clone your stop loss. I mean, you make sure it's equal here. Let's say your entry was here on the next candle open. You place your stop loss anywhere below and whatever. You just remove this like this. So you now you'll be able to convert. I mean, change 1 to 3 to about 1 to 5, 1 to 7, 1 to 10, 1 to 15. I've seen 1 to 22 on volatility 75s. Right. Right. Same thing with the bearish engulfing bar. Same thing. Next candle open, you take your sell, then your POI, you just clone it and it's up. Then you place your stop loss above. Another thing you can also do with both is that you can use your gun box or you can use your Fibonacci. All right. So the POI, you can mark it this way. This is your bullish harami. Once it opens, you wait for candles to buy above it. And then what you do is that you use your gun box, or you can use your Fibonacci. You can use your Fibonacci. Let's say we are using our fib. So like this. And then what you do is that you take your entry from, let's say, a 50%. Your stop loss can be below here. Okay. Or again, you can also mark your entire POI right here. And then you clone it. Same thing. And then your stop loss will be below, anywhere below it. Same thing. I mean, just feel free and then just try the different things and see how that works for you. Same thing as the engulfing bars as well. You can do the same thing. You can mark your POI. I mean, mark the FAB to right there. Once it prints out, okay, it finishes printing a bullish candle and it buys above. You want to do your entry from the 50%. You can decide to do that. Your stop loss below this, or what I like to do is to mark the 5 minutes POI, right? And I'm talking about entries, okay? And especially for those of you who probably want to stack, okay? Those of you want to stack. Stop loss below here, delete it, your TP, wherever. Are we together? Now, let's talk briefly about QML. Now, let me show you this. How do I predetermine that a QML will most likely occur? First things first, if it's an unfresh key level, I don't even waste my time to try to mark a buy setup or a buy POI. I don't. All right. What I do is that I have my entry at the equal highs, and then I have where I mark where my invalidation is. Okay. So typically, you would have price. Let's say invalidate the key level, and then I have my entry. Let's say this is a sell, so now I have my sell here. So now what is a sell QML? Okay, that is when a buy or a bullish, let's say an RBS fails. So an RBS fails, you are looking to sell. An SBR fails, you are looking to buy. Okay, so right here, like this, let's say I mark my 3, let's say a 3 here, and I'll show you an example. Now, Where do you want to place your SL? So now this is your entry. Your SL is above here. Your 3 is somewhere here. Now, what you can also do if you want to scale is to have price um, tap into your QML POI. Mind you, this is a POI. This is a QML POI now. This entire thing here is the POI. That's from the entry to the invalidation point. Okay. So you could wait for a candle to enter or to mitigate your POI, and then you can follow through with any of these candlestick confirmations. So in this case, we are selling. So we'll be looking for either a bearish harami or a bearish engulfing bar. Are we together? And you can follow through with the same setup or same strategy I taught you. You can also take your entry from here. You can do. There are a lot of times the market does what we call tap and go. So it taps on it and it goes. It doesn't even enter into the POI. But I think these days I'm beginning to get very patient with taking using confirmation entries in my QML, and it's really working for me. It is really working for me. Another thing you can also do with the QML is that you can use your gun box or your fib tool inside your QML and decide to take entry on the 50%. You can also do that. You can also do that. Even with the key levels, you can also do that. If your SL, it will be too far away. Or if you want to be able to minimize your SL and maximize it. So let's say you have an entry, you have your 1 to 3 here, or your 3RR. Then you decide to move this to 50%. Now, you are not only taking 3RR. Now look at what you are doing. You are now doing 6RR. Or if you should have a confirmation candle formed within the POI, wherever it formed, you can decide to use it and maximize this entire move, this entire trade. Are we together? Now, I had an example of that. I don't know whether, let me see, was it V75? Let me see. Let me see if I had that. Good. Perfect. This is perfect. So now you can see that I had an RBS here. Okay. You can clearly see that this was an on-fresh RBS. You can see it here because of the presence of this wick interruption. Now you see where the equal, because I've now zoomed in, that's why you're seeing it this way. But you can see there's a wick interference here. Can you see the wick interference right here? Okay, so I do not even bother myself looking for buy setups, right? I only marked my invalidation, and this is the invalidation. That's the lowest wick or the low of both candles that make up the key level, okay, or that make up the RBS. And you can all see that it got invalidated by this candle, right? The next thing I did was to mark my POI that was here. Let me change the color. Let me use here. That was in here and waited for price to tap into structure. All right. I don't know if they will. Okay, let's go into 5 minutes and let's see. Let's go to 5 minutes and see. No, so let me go back to 1 hour and mark the. Let me go back to 1 hour and mark the 1 to 3. Okay, let's take it that we are trading a fresh setup. Okay. Let me remove this. Okay, so now we are looking for entry. Okay, I've locked here. This. Okay, so we are looking for entry here. This is where price mitigated. Your stop loss is above here. Let's say we are looking for 3. Okay, this is it. So this would have been the setup, right? What did I do? Did I take entry from here? No. So this is the candle that mitigated, let's say from here. Now let's go to 5 minutes and see whether we can find a confirmation candle inside this to maximize. So for those who even want to stack, you can use this. So we are beginning from here. This was the candle. It was at this point that price entered. Now, you can clearly see that there's a bearish harami here, right? This is an inside bar, but guess what? Can you see that a part of this candle was outside the POI? We don't want that. We don't want that. However, I can clearly see inside here. What do we see here? What are these two candles? This is a bearish harami where you have a mother bullish candle and a baby bearish candle. So now, what do? You mark the POI that's here to here, right? There's a POI. Why? Because this is a 5 minutes POI. That's a confirmation candles POI. This is what? An inside bar. This is what? An inside bar. Are we together? Now, what do I do? Okay, so now already my entry, which was here, I'm shifting it all the way down here. So something that was 1 to 3 has now become what? 1 to 8.7, right? It's moved from 1 to 3 to what? 1.8.7. Now I'm going to show you two ways to enter this trade. So now this is our POI, isn't it? This is our POI, isn't it? Now, we wait for the low of this bearish harami to be taken out. Or, first of all, someone can decide to take your entry exactly from here. So you can take an entry right from here. That's the next candle. So after this bearish candle forms, your entry can come here straight away. Your stop loss can be above, wherever it was. You can decide to maintain it there. Or, what I like to do, I like to clone, right? And then move it right there. And then I set my SL above there and then just delete. Right. So now, to give breathing space, that's if I take the trade here, to give breathing space. Now, you can clearly see that we've moved from 1 to 3 RR to what? 8.27 RR. Are we together? Are we together? So this is one way you can decide to enter. So now let's go back to the 1 hour and see how that trade played out. Look at it. It was a very straightforward, simple trade. This was it. This was it. From 2 a.m., as you can see, to 5 p.m. And this was extremely rewarding. You can see that when the entry, it took the entry straight away, it just sold. Are we together? It just sold straight away. Now, what happens if you take an SL? If you take an SL, okay, if you take an SL and price invalidates, okay, wherever your SL is, okay, you can decide to leave it, okay? You can decide to leave it. However, if you missed an entry, you can still mark that POI, hoping that price will come and mitigate it, and then you can take a sell from there. Are we together? Now, Sabii also dropped on her X handle the scope entry. You can also decide to use the scope entry. All right. She gave how the structure looks like. I don't want to take much time, so you can go on line and look at how the scope. I mean, she's even posted it on her Twitter account how the scope looks like. Or if you permit me to just draw it, let's say in the case of a sell, you want to see a bearish candle, a bullish candle.
Mikhail,
Yes, please.
just leave that one.
Okay, all right. So you guys can look at it from her X handle, and then you can decide to apply it. But just stick with even these two that I've showed you, and then you will be perfect with it. Are we together? You will be what? Perfect with it. Now, look at this. You can see over here that let's say V75S invalidated, right? I mean, for some people would have taken this trade, right? Because this was an RBS. It was a fresh dual key level, and it's invalidated right here. It's invalidated right here. Okay, it's invalidated right here. So now what can you do? You have your entry, I mean your POI right here. You have your POI right here. Are we together? You have your POI right here. So this was a candle. This was a candle that invalidated and still also mitigated it. Okay. So now let's go to 5 minutes and spot out an entry. First of all, let's mark the three. So let's say somewhere here. Um, and you can do this multiple times. Okay, you can do this multiple times. And have the patience to wait. Have the patience to wait. Have the patience to wait for your trade, right, to play out. Now, you can see that price entered into our what? Our POI. Now we've come to 5 minutes, and I can already see a bearish engulfing bar confirmation. These two right here. Can you see it? This is a bearish. Let me move this. Can you see that the high of the bearish candle and the low of the bearish candle totally engulf the bullish candle? Can you see it? So this is a valid bearish engulfing bar. Okay. So now already your entry is moving from 3 now to the entry point that will be here. Okay. So right after the bearish candle finishes forming, the next candle open, right, is your entry. Now you want to, for the purpose of SL, you can decide to clone and then move it. Let it be at the exact place. Your stop loss goes above it. You delete this, and that's it. So now a trade that was 1 to 3 has now become what? 1 to 6.6. 1 to 6.6. Right? This trade is still playing out. I mean, anybody who missed this trade could have retaken an entry here, or an entry or an entry or whatever it is, and then still hold for this to play out. Are we together? So two setups. Have the patience to wait. For some of you that have been so scared waiting for this, but if you practice this over and over again, you will not be so scared. You would have the patience to wait for setups to play out. Are we together? Let's look at just one more, and let's see how that goes. I took a trade, I think on was it on 25S, and this was a massive trade for myself and um, my team as well. Beautiful. This was a beautiful trade. So now let me delete this. Let me delete this as well. Okay. So now I had, first of all, we said that we want this key level. First of all, make sure that it's the most recent key level you are trading. When we say the most recent, you shouldn't be confused about it. At the time price was somewhere here, what was the most recent key level? It's right here. It can't be here. It can't be here. Because this is obviously higher than this point, and it's higher than any of the other RBSs. Right? This was the most recent. Are we together? So now you mark your high or the equal levels. What validates this RBS? This is a typical dual key level, right? Because we had our equal levels. First of all, the first validation is that there's a body break. And secondly, the high of the key levels, as you can see, has been taken out. It can be with a body, it can be with a wick. Okay, so now we have it right here. And the invalidation of this RBS is this candle, the lowest wick of the two candles. So we have right here, this is the invalidation. This was the candle that invalidated it, right? Hereby giving us what? I mean, so in this trade, you would have bought and it would have invalidated, right? So usually QMLs are more or less, let's say, in the case of, let's say, it's a fresh key level which you traded, right? The QML will be your recovery trade. Are we together? Will be your recovery trade. Now, price did its own thing and then mitigated with this candle. This candle got into the POI. Now let's go into the POI and see if we can spot out. Let me see where we are, if it's possible. First of all, let's mark our 3 right here. And this is exactly what I do. I don't trade anything far-fetched. The same system that we are being taught, and then confirmation entries, as Sabii taught us. Go on 5 minutes, spot out your haramis. She uses haramis more. Okay, I use both haramis and engulfing candles or engulfing bar. Okay, so now this was a candle that mitigated. These are 1 to 3. I don't even go way beyond 1 to 3. That's for me personally. Okay, I do it. I'm out of my trade, and then that is it. So now let's go to the 5 minutes. Let's put out some entries. Um, okay, beautiful. Do we have any entry here? Mm. Okay, so here you will not have any entry because this was a harami. This was a harami. That's a bullish, a mother bullish candle and baby bearish candle. Are we together? Baby bearish candle. Okay. Um, this would have been a valid trade for us to trade. That's if you want to trade confirmations. Okay, you want to trade key levels or QMLs with confirmation candles. Would have wanted this to be inside the POI. Are we together? Would have wanted this to be inside the POI. But let's assume that this was inside the POI. What we have done would have marked the POI, that's the 5 minutes POI of both candles. Okay, are we together? And then what do? We clone. I mean, you can just go to clone, but I use the shortcut. Okay, command and drag. Okay, my entry, right, will be at the next candle after the bearish candle forms, right there. Okay, my stop loss will be at the exact point of the second box or the second POI. That's it. I delete it and that's it. So now a trade that was meant to be 1 to 3. Let's say this candle formed within. Okay, this is what we have. Now I've converted 3 RR to 6.28. Is this not incredible? Is this not incredible? And you decide to stick with this, I'm telling you that you'll make a whole lot of money. A whole lot of money. I don't even go yet. I took a trade here, I think. I had a confirmation here, took an entry right here, right? And all that. I mean, will you have, I mean, it will help you to have higher wins than losses. And trust me, if you decide to stick to the strategy, it will help you. Now, very quickly, the next 5 minutes, let me show you what I do. Let's say, with regards to risk management, as I said before. So now, let's say you are trading a prop firm. Let's say this is what capital should we use? What capital should we use, guys? $10,000. $10,000. Very quickly. $10,000. This is the challenge account that you have bought. Okay. You would most likely have an overall drawdown, overall DD. Okay, at what? 10%, isn't it? Isn't it, guys? What is going to be what? $1,000. This is very quick one. Then you have your daily drawdown at what? 5%. It's usually 5%. Okay, which is going to be what? $500. Right? You have your profit target. Your first profit target is 8%. Let's say you are doing a two-step. Okay, that is going to be what? $800. Okay, are we together? Now, your true capital of any Profem account is not the amount you are seeing. It's only 10% of it. It's only 10% of it. Now, what do I mean? Now, let's say it's a $10,000 account. The first thing you want to do is to divide your overall drawdown, the amount, by 10 or 12. In this case, let's do 10. Okay, so what it means is that we are going to do $1,000 divided by what? 10. I decide to use 10. What is that going to give you? That's going to give you what? $100. So what this means is that, I mean, if you decide to use 10, it's $100. If you decide to use 12, you have your own thing, but I prefer to use 10. Now I have $100. What it means is that per trade, you are risking $100. Per trade, you are risking what? Only $100 per trade. Are we together? And what it means is that you would have to lose 10 trades in a row to be able to breach your $10,000 account. And trust me, if you're a TLS student, you understand the strategy. Trades in a row, then there's a problem somewhere. If you lose 10 trades in a row, then there's a problem somewhere. All right. So now you have your 10%. So now let's say, for example, you are entering a trade. Let me see. I'm currently in this trade on gold. Okay. Um, let's say you are in this trade on gold. Okay. And let's say your stop loss is no, let me give another trade I took. Just a moment. Let me show you. Good. I took this trade. This was an on fresh. Okay. Okay. Right. Because I mean, this is an RBS. It got invalidated, and then I'm trading the sell in the order flow. Are we together? Good. So let's say there's a QML right here. Okay. So let's say entry right here. Stop loss above here. Your three, let's even say here. Okay. Are we together? So now, what is our stop loss? Our stop loss is what? 32.39. This is if you're using the lowest lot size of 0.01. But in this case, we are, this is represented as 329 pips. Now, what did I do? This stop loss was too much for me. So I took my entry from the 50%, that's here, of the QML. I took my entry from what? The 50%. That reduced my risk from 390 pips to what? 175 pips. Okay, so I mean, you can see that it was 3 RR, but now it is now at 6.5 RR. Are we together? Now, what do we do in this case? Now, first of all, you need to take note of your risk. That's 175. You'll see 4 figures, but forget this one. It's 175 pips. So now what you do is that you remember that we are risking only $100, isn't it? So now what you do is that let's go to calculator very quickly. This is very quick, 5 minutes. You go to your calculator, and then you are doing 100. Remember that we said that your risk is going to be what? Okay, so when you do this, to calculate the lot size you should use per trade, you are doing your risk, which is the 10% of your overall drawdown. That's $100 divided by the amount of pips. That's 175. Do you remember from here? 175 pips. 175 pips. Okay? It will give us the lot size we should use. Now, this lot size, how is it interpreted? It's interpreted as 57 cents per pip. 57 cents per pip. This for those of you who are trading prop firms, and you can decide to trade only gold. Okay, I don't trade any other currency on prop firm. Okay, so now, very quickly, in lot size, 0.001 is what? 10 cents per pip. Very quickly, 0.1 lot size is what? $1 per pip, and then 1.0 is what? $10 per pip. Are we together? So now, in seeing this, your value over here, this is 57 cents. If here was 1, this would have been $1. But this 57 cents, how do you interpret it as lot size? Remember that 0.01 is what? 10 cents per pip. So obviously, the 57 cents is within this range. It's within this range. So you are going to use 0.05 lot size. 0.05 lot size. Are we together? Now, what was our TP? So that means that you're going to set a sell limit at this price over here. So a sell limit at what? Entry price 5,189.84. That would have been your sell limit price. Your stop loss would have been at 5207.40, and your TP would have been at what? 5075.69. Now you can see over here that your TP, you're risking 175 pips, but your reward was 1,141 pips. Now let's look at what 57 cents here. So your lot size you'd have entered is 0. What? 0.05 lot size. So this value times what was our reward? 1,141. Look at how much you'd have made. 1,141. Look at what you'd have made. You risked $100. So at this point, if you had used 0.05 lot size, if price hits your stop loss, what it means is that only $100 is going to leave your account. You're going to be in a drawdown of, a loss of $100. But if you should make profit, you would have made a profit of what? 600 and what? $52. Now, do you remember? Do you remember your profit target? 8%. Now, if you subtract 800 from this, how much are you even left with to pass your account? So 800 minus 652. Just on one trade, you are almost passing your phase one. You just need $148 more to pass your phase one. Just this. I want you to watch this video over and over again and then replay this part consistently and practice it. Whatever your risk is, first of all, you want to calculate your drawdown divided by what? 10. And then whatever value you get is your risk per trade. Now, your risk per trade, if you want to get your lot size, your risk per trade divided by the number of pips of your risk will give you your lot size, right? If price hits that stop loss, you will lose only that amount. But if it makes TP, so you just multiply by the number of pips for the reward, and then you are good. So just from one trade, you are almost passing your phase one. Imagine how phase two will be, and imagine when you are funded, how you are going to be killing the market. How you are going to be killing the market. So this is all I have to say and to share with you. I'm so grateful to you, Sabii Girl. I just hope you guys have picked some one or two things from me, and I hope you implement it and take advantage of the opportunity that we have here in TLS. Thank you so much, Sabii Girl.
Thank you so much, Mikhail, for honoring the invitation, even at a short notice. I really appreciate, and we actually do not take it for granted. And I know definitely that they have learned one or two things that they would use for this week. The confirmation, bullish army, fair enough. The reason why I said you shouldn't add the single candle order block is because I want to actually take that particular one, like introduce it to them by myself. So that's why I really appreciate. Thank you so much for coming. So guys, get ready for the new week. Nothing different from how it has been. It's still going to be structure, order flow, key level, liquidity, nothing different. So we'll be stopping here because the time is already fast spent. This past 11. We'll have to stop here, and I'll drop the announcement for the next section, and um we're getting somebody from TLS 1.0 again before we go to 2.0. Let's take one more person. So guys, see you in the next section. If there's any concern, do well to always tag the new moderator. He would relate to me immediately or tag me directly. So good night and thank you.